In this video I will be introducing, exploring and discussing ritual crimes as a form of transgression. When we think of the word ritual, we tend to think of collective, integrative forms of action within positive outcomes. Rituals are a series of actions performed in a prescribed and repetitive order. Examples of rituals can be as simple as an activity that is practiced every morning, such as brushing your teeth or taking a shower. These rituals are acted upon with the purpose of preparing for the day. Rituals can also be more complex and involve deeper motives and meanings. Religious rituals performed as worship and celebration of their beliefs. Religion is full of rituals which play an important part in how it is functioned. According to functionalist theorists, religion provides stability, promotes social solidarity and well-being. Religion also encourages social order and value consensus, which is important to allow society to function properly. Therefore, rituals are seen as a good thing. Ritual provides routine, structure and discipline to many areas of society. Psychological theorist Sigmund Freud argues that ritual is often used to manage anxiety and acts as a way of deflecting negative emotions, acting as a catharsis, almost like a coping mechanism. Some rituals are focused on negative actions, promoting violence and evil. Crimes of a ritual nature are associated with Satanism, witchcraft and black magic, where victims are ritually harmed or murdered. Ritual crimes are often perceived as crimes committed with a dark spiritual objective or purpose. Ritual crimes are historically evident from as early as the 15th to 16th century. Fears of black magic began to occur due to the practices of the people in medieval Europe. Anything other than Christianity was looked down upon and seen as a challenge to the Christian God. Religion was also a vital part of morality in society, and so other beliefs were not accepted. Witchcraft particularly has a fascinating and turbulent history in the UK. People did not accept magic to be a source of good, but a source of evil, directly associated with satanic ritual and demons. This referred to the power of witchcraft to bring harm to others. An association was also drawn between the witchcraft and the devil. Conflict between religion and witchcraft practices was very prevalent at this time. People who seemed even the slightest bit suspicious were accused of witchcraft, and demonic rituals as a punishment were tortured and burned at the stake. Through periods of prejudice and persecution, it has survived to the present in the 21st century. People continue to practice the tradition now. By definition, witchcraft is the practice of magic, the use of spells, usually within the pagan tradition. Witchcraft enables human beings to connect with the dark spiritual world, to be able to access control over something. To perform witchcraft, it often requires sacrifice and assembling an arrangement of objects to engage with the spiritual world as a means to gain something in return. African witchcraft has a similar essence. In fact, the aims are the same in terms of gaining control and power. Often chants and prayers are cast up upon others to announce evil and misfortune. Sacrifices differ and range from food to animals to human body parts. Strange practices are involved with these rituals, which are linked to stories they have passed down to them by their ancestors. West African culture, particularly the Yoruba tribes of Nigeria, are known to engage in such activities, as well as groups in Congo and many other African countries. The law enforcement of community typically refers to illegal ritual activities as occult crimes. However, the term occult is applicable to many religions and practices which are fundamentally non-violent. Religious rituals include events such as baptism, which entails being submerged under water to represent new life. Meditation is also of ritual significance in Buddhism to relax the body and mind. These ideas are aimed at a positive outcome. At the same time, people use religion as a means to defend their actions. For example, the American supremacist group known as the Ku Klux Klan, they tortured and killed people in the name of religion, specifically people who were of a minority in Western society, including black people, Jews, and homosexuals. The concept of ritual crime is often confused or misunderstood due to the lack of clarity as to where these crimes have come from and what the direct causes of them are. Alternatively, they can be motivated by personal beliefs and mythologies that are nothing to do with magic or Satanism. The associations between rituals and non-modern cultures is a false notion, some may argue, as ritual crimes exist in modern society without the influence of cultural practice from countries such as Africa. Serial killings, for example, occur as a result of individuals choosing to murder people as a means of fulfillment and completion. Many cases of ritual crimes are a result of serious mental illness, and so these people act out upon their illness by indulging in these crimes. Trophies are used to show achievements such as body parts or organs that have significance to the killer and the particular crime. These crimes are committed in both modern and non-modernized countries. Ritualism is an element in the number of high-profile serial killings as well as cultural representations of such crimes. For example, Ted Bundy, who was notorious for killing at least 36 women that he admitted to in the 1970s. He kidnapped, raped, and murdered these women using them for sex rituals. Serial killer Jeffrey Dahmer, known as the Milwaukee Cannibal, took the lives of 17 males between 1978 and 1991. Over the course of more than 13 years, Dahmer sought out men, mostly African American, at gay bars, malls, and bus stops, lured them home with promises of money or sex, and gave them alcohol laced with drugs before strangling them to death. He would engage in sex acts with the corpses before dismembering them and disposing of them, often keeping their skulls or genitals as souvenirs. He frequently took photos of his victims at various stages of the murder process, so he could recollect each act afterward and relive the experience. He was captured in 1991 and sentenced and later killed by an inmate in 1994. It is possible that he committed these crimes as a result of trauma or bad experiences in his childhood, or even exposure to abnormalities in the environment he grew up in. Dahmer dropped out of college and was an alcoholic. This suggests that his actions may have been a way to gain control and power in his life. Dahmer may have suffered extreme mental illness as a result in which alcoholism may cause this to get worse, and so he may act out of social conduct and social norms. Not only are ritual crimes victimizing adults but children also. In the UK, these crimes first came into national consciousness after the murder of the 8-year-old girl Victoria Colombo. She suffered abuse from her guardians for 12 months of her arrival in the UK, with 128 separate injuries to the body, including burns and scars from utensils. Her death led to public inquiry and produced major changes in child protection policies in England. It emerged that the police and other authorities had missed opportunities to step in and save the 8-year-old girl. It seems that although agencies claim to have learned a great deal about ritualized abuse and torture of children, figures collate that the Met Police merely scratched the surface. Detectives believe of a hidden crime that remains underreported. The police has set up Project Violet to target the problem and work with other agencies to raise awareness of children at risk so that people can see the danger signs and are more aware of how to try to prevent it from getting out of hand. Arguably, although in mainstream Western society, ritual crimes involve abuse and murder, ritual crimes involving abuse and murder are wrong. these practices are a part of culture where ritual acts contribute to a bigger purpose or end goal. This goal disregards morals and focuses on achieving and receiving something in return. This outweighs the harm of others because the reward of sacrifice and ritual is seen as greater than the value of human life. In conclusion, it is clear that ritual crime can be often misunderstood because it is something difficult to define and explain. Ritual crimes are merely acts that are against social norms, westernized countries, and so are against the law because of immorality. Generally, ritual crimes are negative and have the purpose of causing harm to someone or something to achieve a higher goal. This is through gaining power and control by making the victims vulnerable in various different ways. It is important that we stay aware of signs of these crimes to keep our society safe and to protect the vulnerable and those who may be subjected to ritual crimes. Not enough people know about the different types of ritual crime, and so awareness is very important. Simply by learning more about these crimes and practices can be very beneficial to society. Once knowledge is gained, actions can be made to help combat issues such as these, or at least point people towards the right direction.